My philosophy for the entire film is Superfly. Everything is Superfly. The lighting, the camera, the clothing, the sets, the cars, the guns, the actors. Everything you see is a little flyer than normal. I want people to be in the movie asking, where'd they get that? That's so cool. Look at that thing. It's a wave of cool shit flying at you constantly. Priest is extremely focused. He is a bit restless. He wants new challenges. He wants new things. He's always ready to go another way. But at the same time, he has a luck about him. Professionally, romantically, people like him. People want to help him. And it's a fortunate combination. He's just one of these people. Priest is, there's people in the world that just shine brighter. There's people in the world that who get more, and since they get more, they're required to do more, and that's Priest. Eddie's more random. Eddie's unpredictable. Eddie is change, constantly change. You can't say this is where he's going to be. Where Priest is stable, Eddie's moving. He's another lucky guy. He's another guy that just has that luck on him. That's why they're friends. But not quite in the way Priest is, right? You know, we all see rappers now, and if you really follow a rapper closely, not only do you know who the rapper is, you know who his right-hand man is. A couple of them. You see who their friends are around them, and that's Eddie. Eddie's that right-hand man, where Priest is the superstar rapper that fills stadiums. Eddie's the guy who's always with him, who makes sure he's all right. In 1971, Harlem was the epicenter of black culture. It was what the whole world heard and thought of. The clubs in Harlem were famous worldwide. The drug dealers in Harlem were famous worldwide. It was really what Atlanta is today. If you're an artist in Atlanta and you got a hit record, you got a hit record around the world. You know what I mean? So when we're telling this story for today and we're placing it in the epicenter of black culture, there is no question that it has to be Atlanta. What Alex and I shaped together was an outline that then became the foundation for the script. And like I said, that was us talking about, all right, what is it now? Where in the original, he gets attacked by junkies, and we took that to mean he gets attacked by people in the game. It's not just an attack randomly. It's, you know, people that are part of the drug world. But the Superfly today isn't running around in places where junkies can attack him. So we said, all right, well, what if they're rival drug dealers? Okay, great. In the original, the police come and these dirty cops are also his supplier. Well, it's hard to believe the amount of money we want now to make that this could come just from the cops, which then got us into cartels. But we still, you know, so there's an expansion of the story for our understanding of the drug culture of today. But at the same time, you can see it's rooted in the original film and the original story. Snow Patrol is symbolic of flashy drug dealers, that they're, you know, they got a very loose cover that no one believes. We make music, you know, something like that. So it's just something really simple. But that's what it symbolizes, the guys that will go and buy the flashy car and get on Instagram and be on a yacht, or just with no explanation of how they could do this, and then ultimately get taken down because of the stupidity. So that's it. When Alex first wrote the script and we were saying, yeah, they got these drug dealers, and he came with the name. He said, yeah, they're Snow Patrol and they wear all white. And I go, yes, that's perfect. And it informed the movie. Once we said the bad guys all wear white, drive white cars, have all white businesses, have white guns, it said the movies were we're not making a grimy, gritty, realistic, handheld drug story that you wonder is a documentary. We're making a movie. Staying true to the source material, Georgia was, let's leave right now. I don't need anything. I don't need a lot. We can just go. I only want to be with you. And Cynthia was, what the hell you mean, leave? Leave, this is what you do. You can't leave. This is the life you live. You're crazy. So we brought those two perspectives. They're yin and yang. They have valid points, but they're always opposite. So you get both sides of the argument from these two. And all together, you can see how these two girls and Priest make one unit. What I wanted for the music, when I looked at the original and said, what made this soundtrack something? It was that Curtis Mayfield took it and had a vision for the music singularly. He had a vision for himself. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to hand the music to someone who would have a vision, that would understand the world, could make a commentary on it. And really, there's only one person when you start talking about these requirements and its future. It could be no one else. We live in the age of the hip-hop artists. 50 Cent, Jay-Z, Gucci Mane, T.I., I mean, Migos. So many of these artists, Rick Ross. So many of these artists have lived this life. And not a, you know, yeah, there's some people faking, but there's a good amount of people who really live this life and wanted to, you know, they wanted that dream. They came from circumstances where they didn't feel they had a lot of options. So they went this way. They wanted to live the American dream. But once they got a chance to let that be their past, they put that in their past. So this is the music we hear all the time. We hear these references, we hear this world. We know, the average person knows way too much about drug dealing than they should through hip hop music. And for this story to be right now, this is very relevant to the culture.
I certainly found that Cynthia wasn't like a stereotypical Latina. Sure, she was feisty and strong, but she came across to me as somebody that's fighting for something real and sort of something that she believes in or she grew up in. And just the story was badass, you know? There was like all these action sequences were fun to read, and I think at the end of the day, the story was about somebody trying to better himself, you know, get out, and I value that. Superfly is a guy, he's a drug dealer, a priest, and basically he really wants to keep his soul on like still in what he's doing, and I think once that starts to get compromised, that's when the whole story sort of kicks out about, you know, a drug dealer trying to get out of the business without, you know, losing his soul, I think is really what the story's about. Cynthia is one of his girlfriends, so we're in like a three-way relationship. It's Georgia, me, and Priest. So we're sort of like his counsel. I like to think of both me and Georgia as, you know, the people that he goes and confides in and looks for advice, and it works because we're so different. We're like opposites, and the way that what X told us is like there's like a little devil on his shoulder and there's a little angel, and I'm the devil, so that's fun. I think there's something really relatable about somebody trying to get out of a situation in their life that they don't like or that they don't think brings the best out of them. I think, you know, that's relatable in anything. You don't have to be a drug dealer to want to get out of anything in life. And it's also, you know, really cool style and really new sort of innovative things that I think also X will bring to the movie, you know, because he's very visual and we can already tell with like the things that he tells us. So that's something to look forward to, and I think something that anyone appreciates when they go to the movies. I mean, at the end of the day, movies are a visual experience, you know. Yes, it is about telling a story and everything, but if you're making, you know, a Superfly action movie, then make everything in it Superfly.
I think the score was one of the first things I fell in love with. I mean, the music kind of captured the essence of what the movie was, you know, that and the style of dress, and of course, you know, the pimping, you know what I mean, the characters, for sure. Yeah, Curtis Mayfield really, he destroyed that soundtrack, and you know, that was kind of one of our major influences of making music, was that whole Curtis Mayfield song. I think for this being like a remix of the original film, with Atlanta being the hotbed for music right now, the sound that's embedded inside Atlanta, you know, from the early days of Outkast with Players Ball, that has a Curtis Mayfield feel to it, Southern Playalistic, Cadillac Music, the album, it kind of, it matches up, you know what I mean, with where they want to bring it into current times. I think Atlanta, you know, is the spot for music, and as far as like style and influence and culture, I mean, Atlanta's got the juice right now, so we got the movie. When X called me, he was like, I want you to be the mayor of Atlanta, you know. It's I mean, it's only right, you know what I mean? Because I mean, we run this motherfucker, for one. It's not a far stretch. Like, I could probably run for mayor in 8 years and win, you feel me? Or Killer Mike can run for mayor and win, and I'll be the governor, you know, but they ain't legalized marijuana yet, so shit, maybe that'll be in Superfly 3. But when he asked me to be the mayor, I was like, oh, of course, you know? But he wanted me to be a real slime ball, touchy-feely, corrupt, kinky mayor, so I had to dig deep down within my soul to pull some of that shit out. Superfly's smooth, clean, confident, elegance in motion, you know what I mean? Flawless. I think confidence is a big part of being Superfly. It's like how you hold your head up high when you walk out the door every morning, you know, how you feeling, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you got on, whether it's a t-shirt and some Vans, you know, it's all about that confidence. Confidence gonna sell it all day long.
The title made me want to be involved with it because the old movie Superfly, like I really enjoyed that. That was like sort of my day back, you know what I'm saying? My dad and them used to watch that movie, so it was the title. And then when I read the strip, I see how they kept it basically the same but switched it up a little bit, like 2018. So I was like, yeah, I want to be a part of this. Hey man, Atlanta, we running the game, man. ATL, we running the game, so you might as well do everything here. You might as well shoot all the movies here. Atlanta running the game right now. Future the Wizard, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't give him no advice. He know what he doing. They know who they picked. You know what I'm saying? They picked the right man for the job. Like, He know what he doing. You can't give me no advice. He know what he doing. I need some advice from him. He really don't trust him. He really don't trust him, but he know he good for business, he cool, you know what I'm saying? But he really don't trust him. He really don't, mix with that kind. In my opinion, like, you're a different kind, you're a pretty boy, we gangsters. They got everybody on point, like, everybody on point. I think the costume's on point, Snow Patrol. It's kind of, I guess cheesy, but for everybody to be in the club, everywhere they go, all white guns, all white car. But really, it ain't cheesy. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of cheesy, like, if you think about it in real life, like they got a part in the movie where priests walk up and say, y'all up here looking like a bowl of rice, you know what I'm saying? But it looks good on camera, like, oh, they got on all them white cars, white guns, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I think it's gonna be dope. What makes someone Superfly is their way of thought, their thought process, you know what I'm saying? The mannerism, you get what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole aura about you, like, everything about you gotta be Superfly, man, if you're gonna be Superfly. You can't come outside fresh without a haircut. You can't have a haircut and have on a dingy t-shirt. Like, you can't think with a dirty mind and be fly.
I feel like Atlanta is a city where, the African-American population really feels rooted in. They don't feel like outsiders. There's a strong tradition and culture here that's independent of any other. So it's like, I guess, it's the heart of the Southern African-American community. Adalberto is a very strong, quiet, kind of calculating brother of the previous head of the cartel. Well, actually, the mother's the queen, but she, the son, his brother, was more flamboyant and much more, how should I say, impulsive and productive, but in a way that Adalberto feels is extremely rash and threatening to the enterprise in general. So without giving too much away, Adalberto is the more calculating, careful, and in his eyes, professional of the entrepreneurs in the family. You can't help but like Trevor. He's just this ball of enthusiasm and potential, He's so much talent already. And yet you go, my God, he's only, 21? It's uncanny. But I gotta tell you, as the old dog in this game, 40 years in this business, I was really impressed with his ability to listen when I had certain things I thought he could benefit from knowing. Well, as myself, it just means super sophisticated in your flair. It's just flair. Something as fly is generally considered fine. Ooh, that's fly. It's like, that's badass, So it's a combination of badass and fine. So also, on a whole nother level, it's something that's transcendent. You're not just flying, you're going into Superfly. You're leaving that world behind you on another level.
Freddie, his boys are Priest and Eddie. They go way back, right? They were kids together. And so they realized that maybe Freddie shouldn't get in the game. They don't want me to be in the game, right? They want me to stay in my lane. You'll hear them say that to me over and over again. And so they're looking out for me because they know I don't have the mind to be in the game like they do. But I think I do, you know, so I want in and I'm begging to get in. You know, I'm trying to fill that bag. I'm trying to, you know, trying to make that money that they make. And so they're looking out for me. You know, they don't want me to get hurt. Oh, Fat Freddie is a stone cold killer. You know, America's worst nightmare in a lot of ways. Very ambitious, but loves his friends, you know. Looks out for his friends. He's the muscle in the crew. He takes care of Eddie and Freddie. Looks out for their back. But he wants a little more, just like everybody in the story. Everybody wants a little more. Everybody's trying to fill that bag and get something, you know? And so Fat Freddie's trying to get something for himself, too. And that leads to another conflict. Some people are going to respond to the music, some people the clothes, some people the story. I think, all in all, though, I think the whole flavor of it, the whole flyness of it is what's going to bring people in. And fly means something different to everybody, but I think we're going to rebrand that here. At the end of the day, I think people are going to realize that, you know, this is not a glorification of the game. Even though it looks sleek and has style, the consequences are real, and getting out is real. Getting out means something, you know, and it's difficult to do. And I think that's the story. You know, that'll stick with people. Everybody remembers in the original, the soundtrack was the thing. I mean, the soundtrack was amazing, Curtis Mayfield. So this time around, we got Future, you know? And I think that goes with the city. I mean, the music of Atlanta, everybody knows what that's about. Everybody knows how hot that is, how alive it is. And so they go hand in hand. I mean, you know, the original Superfly, the music, was a part of the movie. I mean, you can't do one without the other. And so this time it's going to be the same thing. Well, it's about a young man, Priest, who's in the game, making money, and he wants out. And he's trying to figure out the best way to get out. But he's made some choices, and those choices have consequences. And the people around him are making choices, they have consequences. So it's just a big ball of conflict set in an amazing city to a dope soundtrack. So it's kind of, you know what I mean? And we got to figure out how he's going to figure it out and what he's going to do, you know? They're fantastic guys, a lot of fun, good actors, intelligent. We're having a great time, you know, we're having a great time, we're doing the work. And the thing is that we take it really seriously, you know, so it's a perfect mixture of kind of camaraderie, a lot of laughs, and at the same time, when the camera rolls, we're right there. The costumes, the shoes, the jewelry, you know, it's people are going to want to live this life. And then they're going to want to, once they want to live it, they're going to see the cost of it as well. So it's going to bring you in, like the cars, the money, the looks, the beautiful people. It's going to bring you in, and then you're going to say, oh, wow, but there's a cost to this, you know what I'm saying?
Director X is a visual nerd. Like, you've never met a guy like this, you know? Like, everything from the blocking to the way he shoots things, it's all symbolic. You know what I mean? Like, he's a guy who we've seen make every rap star bigger than life. You know, he knows exactly what he's looking for. So to have a guy live that whole entire era, that whole Superfly era, for him to be behind the ones and twos is like incredible. I'm so excited to be working with this dude. He's so on point to the point where, like, he sends you a character breakdown that has astrology attached to it. Like, if you want to know anything about Eddie, you can look at it. It's already, like, he sent me basically like a Bible for my character, which is something that I've never seen somebody do. I've never seen somebody care so much to the point where, like, if he could, he'd be everybody. He'd do everything. You know what I mean? Like, he's just a really, really special guy. That dude is dope. Priest has this idea in his mind that he's gonna get out of the game and everything is gonna be A-okay and he's gonna have 2 wives and it's all gonna be like all Skittles and quinoa, you know? But Eddie has more of a grip on life. He realizes we've made more money in the last 4 months than we made in the last 4 years. You get what I'm saying? If we last another 4 years or another 40 years in this, we're gonna be there. Like, this is what we got in the game for. So Eddie doesn't want to leave, and he loves Priest, so he's gonna make it convenient for him. But I mean, who knows what Eddie's gonna do, you know? Eddie is Superfly because he needs no help. He is who he is on a regular day, at the end and at the beginning. He wakes up the same man every day and needs no help. He does it effortlessly. He's just that guy. When I first saw Superfly, it was something that changed my life forever. You know, if I can give that back to the children, or if I can give that back to the next generation, that's a blessing.
Q is Juju's big homie, big brother. Only person he listens to on earth is Q. If Q's not in the picture, he doesn't listen to nobody. Juju doesn't care about anybody but his crew and Q. His loyalty is there. He'll argue with Q, he'll disagree with Q, but Q's boss. What Q says goes, and nothing changes. If you don't respect Q, you don't respect Juju. Juju is willing to die for Q. All white. All white all the time. White everything. If you have any other color, you ain't Snow Patrol. The car's white. Crib's white. Clothes white. Jewelry silver, because it's close to white. Everything white. Nothing else. First of all, man, Trevor is one of those individuals, like, you meet him, and when you meet him, you don't know what you're gonna get. One of the most loving, kind-hearted people I've met on set today. Very, very powerful guy. The fact he could turn on that suave, cool, you know what I'm saying? I got everything I need, you know what I'm saying? If you're not by me, you're nothing. Like, kind of just, man, just laid back, man. It's cool. Like, you want to be around that guy. That's an amazing person in real life. And the way he portrays Priest, he just brings all his characteristics from real life into the film. It's completely natural, man. I enjoy working with him a lot. I don't feel like it's work. I don't feel like it's work. He has this thing about him. The moment I got on set, even we were creating Juju, he said, "What do you want to do?" I'm expecting to be told what to do, not have any creative input. He basically just said, "Yo, do what you want to do, what you believe, what you think is cool, and I'll make it work." That's the best type of teaching. Giving people creativity, everybody involved on the team creativity, he's amazing for that. He's gonna go down as a legend because of that one characteristic about him. He's an amazing guy to work with, amazing. I feel like I made a friend on set, definitely. What am I excited people to see in this movie? The hustle. Hustle. When you watch this movie, think hustle. Everybody's trying to get somewhere. Everybody's trying to get something. I feel like that's the hidden message in this movie. Cool, it's a lot of amazing scenes, a lot of amazing actors, but when you watch this film, I want you to think hustle. There's something I want. There's something I want to do. I am not gonna stop chasing it. I'm going to chase it every day. Nothing else matters. I'm going to hustle until I get what I want. That's what this movie represents to me.
I feel Atlanta eventually will become the new New York City. It's the new poppin' scene. It has a thriving music industry, even a thriving film industry. We're here today, you know. It's definitely it's the city next on the list after New York, LA. You know, Atlanta's definitely big and booming right now. Everybody wants to be here. My character is dominant, feminine, and a hustler, a legal hustler. Well, priest he's just priest. That should just be its own definition. You know what I mean? He's that guy that you can tell that you just don't want to cross him. Superfly is having confidence and not trying too hard and still being able to attract energy and commanding a room without even having to say anything. Superfly is what you wear. It's your ability to start a trend. It's the new wave. The audience will love that alone. The story will have them on the edge of the seat for sure. But then again, it's gonna be the music. It's gonna be the clothing. You know, I believe that some of the stuff we're wearing, it's gonna set trends. I think people are gonna ask, like, what shoes did she have on? You know, it's gonna be one of those type of pictures where you probably have to watch it 3 times to get each section. Maybe the first time it's the story, the second time you're like, oh, the clothes, the third time, oh, it's the music. So I think it'll be one that people will definitely wanna keep watching. Cynthia's feisty. Cynthia's feisty, but we all love a feisty woman. You know, they're necessary. And it's cool because I truly feel we have this same goal in mind. We just have 2 perspectives on how to get there. She wants what's in Priest's best interest, and so do I. And so it creates an awesome balance just between the 2 women, between the dynamic of the trio. And but I feel that Georgia sees a little bit of herself in Cynthia, but maybe it was a few years ago. Maybe, you know, she's matured and she knows how to determine her reactions, think before she speaks. But at the same time, half of the things Cynthia says she kind of agrees with. Cynthia's just saying what we're all thinking. But again, we need someone like that.
I think Atlanta is the right place for this movie because of the, you know, hip hop is here right now. Whether you like it or not, this is the new melting pot, the new home of hip hop in with the new generation, you know, not my generation, but the new generation. And this movie is for that generation. And, you know, music was a huge part of the original version of Superfly. You know, again, I speak about the death of Freddie. That song, Freddie's Dead, Freddie's Dead, that's what I said. Like, I can't tell you how that resonated with me. The music matched the time, it matched the movie, what was happening in the movie, and it was fly, it was cool, you know what I mean? And so, you know, again, hip hop has been born and created since the original version has been made, and I think, you know, to tell that story through hip hop, it has to be done in Atlanta. You know, working with X is, I guess for someone like me, like a dream come true. Anybody that knows my career knows that I got my start in the music video world. And, you know, I know a lot of music video directors from Hype Williams to Spike Jonze to Marcus Nespel, you know, and X is and to Paul Hunter. You know, I admire all of these brothers, man, and their work and their contribution to the world of music through visual art. You know, we know as music videos, and X is in that caliber. I still watch music videos to this day, shamefully, but you know, I see X's work a lot, and I'm inspired by it. You know, the right X video will get you in the gym, and it's because it's not just about the song, it's about the imagery that matches the song and the intent and the emotion of the song. That matters to me, and X is truly a master at his craft. So again, me coming from the music video world, it's an honor to be here and working with him and to see him get his shot. He deserves it, in my opinion. Scatter is, you know, he's the Mr. Miyagi to Priest in sorts. And, you know, there's that old saying, you know, the student becomes the teacher. And there's a friction there between the two, between Priest and Scatter. But, you know, Scatter he represents the old way, you know, which is kind of like the friction that we have in hip hop, old school versus new school right now, which is why I think that it's a great city. Atlanta's a great city to tell this story with hip hop being a main ingredient in it, you know, because that's the dynamic between Scatter and Priest. It's the old school versus new school, the old way of thinking versus the new way of thinking. And Priest represents the new school, Scatter represents the old. But, you know, Scatter's not he's not gonna go easily. His mindset is, I may be the old dog, but I still know the tricks, and my tricks still work in this game. And he's at the top of his game. He's in shape, mentally and physically, and you know, he's not ready to pass the torch so quickly. I am excited for audiences to see in this movie me. You know what I mean? Let me stop. Now I'm playing. I'm excited to see, honestly, to see the next generation. I'm excited for the audience to see the next generation that this movie is putting out there. Again, I'm a huge fan of Jason Mitchell, man. That young brother has longevity, in my opinion, in his career as to what he brings to the table, his honesty and character, the way he tells story. And you know, Trevor, man, is just, you know, the brother is a renaissance man. He plays the guitar, he sings, he acts, you know, he's humble. You know, these are good, decent young brothers, man, and I'm just excited to see, for Hollywood to see, for the rest of the viewing audience to see what I'm getting to work with these young brothers who are talented and, you know, doing the culture well, in my opinion. The word Superfly, when I first hear that, it means like just hood fly shit, like hood shit, that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like the shit is super fly, you feel me? Nothing in the suburbs is super fly, you know, it's gotta be somewhere in the hood. To me, what makes something or someone super fly is swagger, you know, dripping in swagger, unapologetic swagger. That's what makes something or someone super fly to me.
It's dope, man. Obviously, legendary music video maker, but dude, just the way that he works and how deep he goes into his thought process is it's inspiring, you know. And yeah, I feel like it's gonna come across on screen as much work and thought that he put into each character and each process, and yeah, I feel like it's definitely gonna translate. He's you know, he's young, he's smooth, you know, he's cool. It's a different kind of fly, for sure, you know. I never want to ever try and, you know, do what the original was, but I definitely want to try and find my own voice, do my own version of it. But he's hungry. I feel like that's like the main word, is he's starving for success, starving for, you know, to be respected. Awesome, action-packed, everything I've wanted to do since I was a kid. In terms of movies, I was hyping. I'd seen the original, but I love how we didn't just make like the first one over and we had its own story, and yeah, I definitely connected with it for sure. They're awesome, they're beautiful, talented young ladies, very ambitious, both of them. And they just want to do great work, and I love that. That's all I want to do, and, you know, have a good time while I'm doing it. He loves both of them. Cynthia is a little similar to Eddie in terms of she doesn't really care about the consequences as much. Georgia kind of thinks everything through. She's kind of similar to Priest in that way, but they both balance them out perfectly. You need both sides, I feel like, in order to, you know, in anything, moderation is key. So it's like the good angel, the bad angel, but they keep me balanced, and, you know, I'm able to navigate because I have both of them. So Priest would be kind of nothing without them, for sure. A young man named Priest who is a drug dealer, top of the game, but he starts seeing a change around him and a change within himself. Because of this life that he's living, and he wants to get out, he wants to make a switch. But it's difficult when you're so deep in the game and you're so high up, so many things are attached to you, it's not as easy as most people would think, so that's kind of his process. It's him being in the game, trying to get out of the game, and also protect the people that he loves in the process. His ambition and his wits. He breaks down situations before the situation becomes a situation, you know? And I think that's what I admire about that character, is that he just kind of reads everything, you know? I feel like 70s New York was the poppin' spot at that time, but like now everyone's in Atlanta, everything is shooting in Atlanta, you know, body has a home in Atlanta. Yeah. It's the mecca for music, it's the mecca for acting, it's the mecca for a lot of things, so I think it's the best place to do it. The American dream, you know, I feel like regardless what time, whether you're in 1972 or you're in 2016, 17, 18, it's always going to be the same pursuit of coming from nothing, or even if you do come from something, pushing forward and obtaining whatever that goal is of yours. And I feel like this is the perfect, you know, story for that. Priest goes through all of these things, he's living this life, and one day he just kind of switches and wants to kind of get out of the dangerous life that he's living.